I'm Dale Hyde, a Client Solutions Advisor here at Frontier Technology. Welcome to this in a nutshell video. I often get asked, what are the differences between public and private cloud? The trouble is there seem to be so many different answers to this question depending on who you ask. But I think the simplest way of looking at it is that public cloud services are exposed to the public and can, in theory at least, be used by anyone, whereas a private cloud can only be seen by those granted specific access. So if that's the basic difference, what are the pros and cons? Well, this is a much more difficult question to answer, particularly in a nutshell, but let's have a go. However, before we start, let's quickly run through some of the benefits that apply to both public and private cloud approaches. These include flexibility. If your workloads are unpredictable or you already know you'll be wanting to scale up or down, then cloud platforms are attractive. Then there's resilience. You can expect your cloud vendors to have invested much more in areas like high availability and fault tolerance than you might be able to do yourselves. This brings the provider's economies of scale to you. Cloud services are generally an operating expense rather than a capital cost, which is often favourably viewed by finance teams. Plus, by shifting some or many responsibilities to a service provider, you can focus in-house resource better on core business activities and supporting users and line of business systems. Now let's look specifically at public cloud strengths. First, I would say the sheer breadth of features public cloud offers may be very appealing. If you're looking beyond simple hosting of VMs to use things like platform as a service, service computing, infrastructure code, and similar approaches, then you'd be well advised to consider public cloud. If managed carefully, then public cloud can be a very cost-effective approach, but you'll need to ensure you keep tight control of the resources you're paying for and be in a position to make longer-term commitments rather than taking the pay-as-you-go approach to achieve this. However, one quick tip here. I suggest running any new workloads on a pay-as-you-go basis for a month or two first, so you can establish accurately how much resources they really need before making the longer-term commitment. And whilst we're talking about cost, on the downside you can get some nasty surprises if you're not in control. Plus there are often variable charges for the amount of data being moved around, especially when data leaves the cloud platform, so you need to keep an eye on that. Another challenge that can be overlooked are the technical skills required. Public cloud platforms offer an incredible diversity of services, but these can be daunting to the uninitiated. It's a bit like going into a massive DIY store with thousands of tools to choose from, but selecting the best for the job demands experience. Sometimes you might hear that security of public cloud platforms is considered a weakness, but I think that's unfair. These vendors invest massively in security, but you must understand it's a shared responsibility. You will need to play your part too. Having said that, the vast scale of public cloud platforms can make them an attractive target for malicious activity. So now let's look at private clouds. The strengths of these are largely around their bespoke nature. A private cloud vendor will work hand in hand with you. Ideally as an extension of your own in-house resource to make sure your cloud platform is tailor-made to fit your business needs. You can expect better support services too from people you know, people who understand your systems, plus a level of proactivity that a hyperscale public cloud vendor simply can't provide. You'll also have more control of security and data sovereignty. This can be particularly useful for those in regulated industries where audit or compliance requirements might conflict with public cloud realities. Also, if you have legacy applications that require integration work, this is likely to be much easier to achieve in a private cloud. On the downside, most private cloud platforms are based on virtual machine or maybe container technologies and don't offer the breadth of solutions of a major public cloud player. But this is not an issue for many businesses, especially those in the SME or mid-market sector who are quite happy to run VMs. The headline costs of private cloud might initially also look higher than public, but you'll often be getting a lot of valuable services for your money, so compare carefully. And finally, if you're unsure about what you need, then my best advice is to take some advice. Well, I hope that's been a useful, well-winged, in a nutshell tour of public versus private cloud. If you'd like to know more, please get in touch or look out for other in a nutshell videos in this series where many of the subjects mentioned earlier will be explored in greater depth. Thanks for watching, goodbye.